Trojan, and welcome back to Gaming Hexa. And you are now on episode 4 of what is our Star System Survival series. And where I left you off, I just plonked back down on the lunar surface here, is what I'm going to call it. That's where our base is, up there. Oh, I fell off the edge. Plonked back down on the lunar surface there, and said I was going to start working on the beginnings of a base. Obviously this is just a rough outline of one. As I go on, I tend to just get the basic structure down as I'm working in survival, and then as I go on I'll make little tweaks here and there, and eventually over time gradually it will change and become something less blocky and a bit more practical, and then we get the things on that we need. So at the moment this is just a box, really, that's all it is. It's a box that I'm going to use to for what I need it for. Let me just quickly see if I have access to any oxygen around here, because I have 15% left in this canister that I'm using. So let me just have a look. Go back. I'm going to take this one, and I'm going to have to get some ice from somewhere. I'm sure there's still some components here that I can use. I'm going to see if I've got what I need to have. I don't think I'm going to be attacked here, so I'm not too worried about it. I'm going to make sure that I am set to private. I do want people to be able to join me. This is where Galata's going to go up here, but not right now because I'm not too worried about it. I've got solar panels up here, which even though I can't see any sun, it's creeping away in the distance there. They still have a fairly decent amount on them. I'm going to go inside. And obviously I have the antenna as well on top there, so we have a clear line of contact now between here, the antenna array, which is up there somewhere. There it is, the relay one there, which is then able to contact the station that we have in the habitable planet's orbit, and then that in turn can contact the base on the surface. So we have a clear line of communication between everything, so I could remote control stuff between here and there, which is awesome if I need to. Let's go inside. I've got no oxygen in here at the moment. Something again I'm going to need to consider quite soon. At the moment it's just an empty space. That is a nuclear reactor with some uranium in it. Obviously I have cargo container here. I might put a catwalk down there just to cover that up, and a place to recharge and to spawn if I have to. That is it for now. I need to get it going up another level probably, and I need to put some, I believe I haven't put batteries down yet. I must double check, I can't remember. No, definitely haven't put batteries down. On account of having the solar panels, I may as well have batteries to be charged. But it's not powering a lot right now. At the moment it's just a base, so a skeleton of one anyway. Next thing to do here would be to work on the life support side of things, and then to do the mining and stuff. So I won't bother mining up here until I have a facility set up to process the materials, and that. They don't necessarily have to process them into their ingot forms. It just like sort of the plumbing involved with connectors and stuff. So like up here I've intentionally put a big area up here which is going to continue around the corner here, so that rovers or anything we might use for carrying cargo can get up here and dock onto something and just release their cargo, and that is the idea. However, we've had an update since, and now we have crazy creeper-like dogs and fireflies. So I was thinking about a quick excursion back to the habitable planet, to make sure that we weren't in a position that our base is being sort of trolled by dogs and stuff. I don't think it's going to happen, because I'm pretty sure they probably only spawn around the player. Wow, see, now that's just a complete waste of oxygen right there. I don't know how I managed to do that. There we go, oxygen none. and that means we have no oxygen because we have, oh wait, we do now because we have oxygen. Oh, that's right, we have oxygen in the oxygen tank, so we should be okay. I was worried that we had no ice there. Right, so as it stands, this is the base here. We have our lights on, but it's not really necessary right now. And obviously this landing area needs to be made bigger on account of this ship being as large as it is. Everything is switched off. I'm going to turn my hydrogen, that was my atmospheric, turn my hydrogen back on. 13 hours, it should be enough to get us coasting and on our way. What else? The other thing, make sure my dampeners are on, and I'm going to make a move back to the habitable planet. So in the meantime, I'm going to leave you on that note, and I'll see you in a moment when we're actually coming into the atmosphere and we're on our way. So you can see that we've there's our base there, 7,000 meters away. Now all I've done is I've waited to be out of the gravity well, and I've just released the dampeners, and you can see we're more or less pointing directly at the base, and that is on the surface. So we're going to bypass the relay, we're going to which is up there, we're going to bypass the station, which is, see there, 82,000 meters away. We're going to head straight for this. You can see why I skipped this bit because I don't think you'd be too impressed with it takes about 10 or 15 minutes sometimes. It's it does beg the question why I haven't built a jump drive yet, and I think that's probably next on the books for this ship's upgrade, is a jump drive of some sort, or two. It depends. I've got the platinum, which I believe is for the superconductors and stuff, and the advanced components that we need to build. We should be covered with regards to resources, but we'll see. Right, 105,000 meters, and I'm gonna be back when that is a lot less. Okay. Hi lads, we're in the gravity well now. You can see we're at 29,000. If you can see, we're at 21,000 meters above the surface, but we're still 28,000 meters away from the base there. We've picked up a bit of speed on account of gravitational pull, so I'm going to be switching off those hydrogen thrusters now because I'm not using them, to be completely honest. And what happens is when we get to about, I don't know, 5 or 6,000 meters, then we're gonna kick in above the surface, that is, not away from the waypoint. We're going to kick in those atmospheric thrusters. I've got a little bit of time to spare, and I just thought I'd just show you the reason as well. While I could have done this all the way back at the moon base as well, but you can see anything that's remote controllable will be accessible here. I've got my mining drone actually docked to the station, the hab base. So if you look there, it'll be the only thing with a remote control attached to it. Oh no, there's two. What's the other remote control attached to? Let's see. The yellow one, small atmospheric thruster, small atmospheric thruster, and order sector, medium cargo container. Right, oh, so my rover does have a thing attached to it. So if I do that and go G, look for its camera, hopefully this is the front one, you can see that this is the rover. No, that was that was the miner. We are actually mighty close. Right, 11,000 meters. That was quicker than what I had anticipated. Did I turn on my lamps? Seems it's night time. We'll turn on the lamps. We're dropping it quick. I'm going to straighten up a bit, and I've got nothing switched on. So careful now. 9,000. I know I said about 5 or 6,000 meters, but I'm going to kick them in now, just so they're on. I could kick on the hydrogen thrusters now, but to be honest, I should have the thruster need to stop myself regardless of the speed I'm going. You can see they're doing okay there. That's only because I think the default speed for thrusters is set to 100 on account of my mass maybe. So funny enough, even though I'm going 104 meters a second now, if I try to go forward it's going to go down to 100 for some reason, and I can't tell you exactly for why that is. If anything, you think it would pick up speed. It's just on account, I imagine, just of the default thrusters being set to max speed 100, so when you put your foot down, if you're going faster than that, funnily enough, you slow down. Maybe something that Keen should look at. But right, we are at 3,000 meters. Our thrusters, if I press Z, they will kick in. That was I was lucky I checked. And now we're just going to head over to our base. You hear the wind. Now I'm extremely worried about the dogs that have been added to the game. It's a bit of a weird addition to me. It's sort of, the comparison has already been made. It's a four-legged robot dog, very much like a creeper from a certain series of game. I'm not sure whether that was the way to go. Definitely habitable planets, I think, needed some form of NPC on the ground on habitable planets. That was the threat. Robot dogs sort of begs the question, okay, well, how did these dogs come about? You know, they're not exactly a life form if they're robotic. So it was weird for me. I'm glad they're there in a way, because it's a bit of a challenge. It's another thing to throw into the mix that will change the way the game plays out every time you play it, which is always good to have the variety. But it's only got 3 hours fuel time, so, and I still have quite a lot of hydrogen. See, I coasted all the way from just outside the gravity well on the moon to here, so all the fuel I needed was for taking off and just adjusting my course, and that was it. And now I'm not using the hydrogen at all, so we'll save there as well. But the base should become visible soon, because I do have lights and that on the base, so here's a few thousand meters away still. I wonder if that means it's on the other side of those mountains. If it is, then I should really... No, it shouldn't be. Looks like it's right below me. It's easy to forget how high up you are, you see. Go 1,000 meters up, so yeah. I'm going to start losing altitude now. Make sure I don't do this too fast and end up barely flopping into the ground. I'm good at that. There it is. I'll let the forward thrusters do their job. Let's see what 400 meters. That's not bad at all. Luckily I have Gatling turrets and the interior turrets as well, so these dogs shouldn't be too much of a problem. The one thing I'll be worried about now is actually this lander, putting it in a position where it is protected, so I don't block off that Gatling turret too much. Turn it a bit. We'll straighten up. That horizon indicator is useful for something at least. We are now terrified. Wait, we'll just turn those off for now. here as well. I'm going to go to the air vent and I'm going to put it onto depressurise. I'll quickly open the doors so I don't suffocate. Or I'll put the helmet on instead. Just because I'm going to open these doors and use the atmosphere to refill the oxygen tank. So, there we go. It's the air rushing in again. That should fill up our oxygen tank, which is up there on top, you can see. We still have loads of hydrogen, which is awesome, which means not as much mining to have to do for the ice and what have you. I can take the helmet off now. And finally, a bit more gravity. But I'm worried now. I do have a gun on me, but I don't have ammunition. But I might just take a little bit out of one of the interior turrets, just in case I do happen upon some dogs out here. It will be a first for me. I've not experienced them yet. I know some people who have, and I've heard stories of bases being completely wiped out. So it's not even going to be a matter of quickly taking shelter in your base. That apparently will not save you. There we go. Hey, doors. So apparently I'm missing a wheel here again, randomly. The thing has broken off at the top here for some reason. Not sure why. So I'll have a wheel to replace. I should just be able to plonk a wheel on there. I'm not sure. Let's get rid of this interior turret here. And we'll take just 5, I think, maybe even 3. I guess it depends. I'm not sure at what frequency any dogs, if any, will come at me. 90 rounds be enough to put up a fight, a small fight anyway. Right, I think I'm going to need to do some repairs. So I have components and stuff on the ship out there. Might just bring this out into the open to do it, and I want to fix this rotor here. It's missing a pin. I may need to take that off altogether then. Oh yeah, am I attached to anything?
Ship fuel critical.
I'm locked into place, so do I need to turn off that connector? Let's see. Oh, I have a hotkey for it already, do I? I do. Oh, it's because I'm charging my batteries. There we go. It's back on. In fact, what I might just do is just remove that wheel altogether on the other side, because I know that these rotors can function just as well with 6 wheels as opposed to 8s. Into place, it's hard for me to tell. I think it might be. It is indeed. So that's locked me in place. Perfect, everything's switched off this time. Right, that's one little thing I had to get out of the way. Now, I'm going to have to get myself some ice and stuff like that to refuel the hydrogen tanks that I have there. Oh, every time. There we go.
Oh, night's coming in, mate. It's going to get dark in a minute.
Oh. Just refueling my beast over here.
You, mate?
Using the drone to refuel the miner, the lander. There we go. Let's control it again. There we go.
Materials.
Oh, God. Sorry about that. I don't know if you saw that. I've not got the ship connected or locked to the floor, to the ice. So when I backed the miner into it, it nearly knocked the whole thing on its side. I don't know how that happened. Friggin' temperamental bloody connectors. There we go. That should be filling up with ice now. Let's go and have a little look-see. 92,000 now. CD. Hydrogen tanks are... Well, they'll probably use up all that ice, but as long as I have full hydrogen tank, I don't care. It's night time. Radio. Are you okay for access to these things? I can't remember if I have them set to yeah, they should all be shell faction. Yeah.
Just having a nose.
No, cool. Nose away. Nose away.
Yeah.